Hello there. This is some information that I'm asking people to pass around for their own benefit, because at some point in time you may end up in a situation that myself and many others have been put in. In fact, if you go to a website called complaintexpert.co.uk, you will see there that what I'm about to tell you is not something that is just a one-off, but is a regular occurrence. It involves the Financial Ombudsman Services. Now, it's surprising that many people like myself and friends of mine in business and just normal friends who are not in business, we've always been under the impression that the Financial Ombudsman Service looks out for the interests of the person who may be complaining about a bad service against a company, a conglomerate, or whatever you want to call them. But at the end of this video you'll realise that the Ombudsman isn't there for that reason. And more to the point, they will not accept legal documents or proof of what you are saying. Now, I know what you're thinking, that seems a bit odd, this is a government department. But if you listen to this video, I'm not showing my face for a reason, but I will go through the problem that I had. About 18 months ago, I needed to fly to Panama because I'd been looking to emigrate there. I bought a house over there a couple of years back, and because of the financial crash here, I decided to rent that house out. Anyway, what I eventually did last year, about 18 months ago, I decided to sell the house. Now, before I could sell it to the people who were renting it off me, I had to pay property taxes on the house. Now, there wasn't enough money in my account in Panama City, so I had to transfer funds from the Cheshire Building Society, which is owned now by the Nationwide. I had to ask them to transfer funds for me to my bank account at Panama Bank in Panama City. Those funds, to transfer funds, in fact I recommend anyone who wants to transfer funds abroad just to do it yourself. You can go to plenty of FOREX companies and they only charge about 12 quid. And then that is normally what I do. It takes 5 minutes to do it yourself. That way you get the same exchange rate that the bank gets. But I decided, because this trip was short notice, that I would let the Cheshire Building Society foolishly do this transfer for me, because I had other things I had to deal with. I asked them to transfer the funds to my bank account in Panama. I gave them the IBAN, the SWIFT codes for my bank account, and also the account of Banismo in Panama City. So they had all that information, which had been printed off and was correct information because I'd used it before. I gave it to them. I said, if there's any problems, you must email me because I'm going over there to pay my property taxes. I gave them my email address, which they already had. I gave them my mobile number over in Panama, so they could get in touch with me any time of the day or night if it came to that. I went to Panama, and I waited a week. No funds arrived. I emailed the Cheshire Building Society, no response. I had to fly back to England because I needed the money to get my property taxes paid. But I couldn't get back out to Panama for another couple of months. I got back to England. I went straight into the Cheshire Building Society and I said, what on earth has happened? You've put me in a heck of a mess. Where is my money? And they said, oh, we tried to send it but Bank of America wouldn't accept the transfer because there was a wrong digit. I said, that's impossible. I gave you all the correct digits, the same digits. You got the print out of all the IBAN numbers, my account numbers, etc., etc. So you people have made a mistake. You've entered the wrong digits. So I then said to them, where is my money? And they said, oh, well, it's in a holding account. I said, why didn't you email me? They said, well, we forgot. You forgot. Okay, why didn't you ring me? Same reasons, they forgot. They just left the money in a holding account. They didn't even attempt to transfer it again, which anyone with half a brain would have tried that. They tried to say that the Bank of America, as I said early on, had rejected the transfer because there was wrong details had been given, but they hadn't. They'd been given the correct details, but someone in their offices had entered the wrong details. And what had happened was that the money goes from Cheshire Building Society to Barclays. Barclays then sends the transfer to Bank of America. Bank of America then sends it down to Banismo account, and Banismo then put it into my personal account. That's how it works. And it's an automated procedure. No one is involved in it. It's done automatically. As soon as it's done at the Cheshire, it's automatically done. It takes less than 24 hours to get there. Anyway, it never got there. They were trying to say that I gave them the wrong information, which wasn't the case, because I've always used that same information, and it was printed off Banismo's website anyway. And they tried every way to get out of it. Anyway, I said, I want that money back in my account now. And they said, oh, we can't put it back in your account now. We'll have to do it tomorrow. I said, why can't you put it? Well, we're getting near close of business. I said, listen, it's done on computer. I'm not going until you do it. Anyway, they did it. They transferred it, printed my passbook off, and as I was about to walk out, I noticed something. It was £170 short. I said, where's the 170? He said, oh, that was because of the exchange rate. I said, what do you mean the exchange rate? He said, you've done nothing. You didn't even transfer the money and you're charging me. I said, you put that money back in my account now. And there was other people in the Cheshire office, in the Cheshire Building Society's office. And they said, oh, well, we can't. It's just one of those things. I said, no, it isn't one of those things. I don't care what the exchange rate is. I asked you to do something, you couldn't do it, and you're giving me back. I'm going to make 170 quid. I said, that is theft. And I started to just speak a little bit firmer and louder. And I said, if you don't put that money back into my account, I'm going to get in touch with the police because that is theft and fraud. You've got 10 minutes to put it back. Well, all the panic bells started then. The manageress came out and apologised profusely, and she said, it's not really. I said, I don't want any excuses. You've taken £170 amount of money, you put it back in my account, or I'll go to the police and I'll go to the national newspapers. So they made a phone call and they said, well, as a gesture of goodwill, we'll put it. I said, no, I don't want gesture of goodwill. That is my money. I don't want any goodwill gestures off your company. That is my money. You put it back. So she said, well, can you give us 24 hours? I said, I shouldn't have to, but I will. I gave them 24 hours, they put the money back. I went back to Panama. I ended up doing the transfer myself from another bank account that I had. I went back to Panama, paid my property taxes, and the sale of the house went through. Came back to England. I got in touch with this joke of an organisation called the Financial Ombudsman Service. They are not looking to your interests. Let me re-emphasise that. They are not looking for your interests. Even if you provide them with official legal documents, they will not accept them. They will make a decision based on what they feel, no matter what evidence you provide. And that has happened to me. I got in touch with them, and to cut 12 months out of this video, because I don't want to go on too long, I got a recent decision saying that they felt that I didn't have to go back to Panama because I was after compensation to get me back to Panama. They said that we don't feel Mr. R had to go back to Panama. even though I told them I had to go back to pay taxes on my house so the sale could go through. So they made that decision. No matter what I said, they've already made that decision. They don't want to know what you feel at all, this organisation, much like social services. So I rejected that, and I said that I want my name clearing because you people are calling me a liar. I said to them, I can provide a letter from my lawyer in Panama City. I can also provide a letter from the Panama government property taxes office that will say that those taxes had to be paid, and the only way to do that was for me to go back because of the mess that Cheshire Building Society put me in. They won't even accept legal documents. They are not there for your interests. They are there because they get paid to do a job they know nothing about. They don't even know how FOREX works, and what FOREX is foreign exchange transfers, what all the banks do. They don't even know what an IBAN number is. So they're making decisions on information that they know nothing about. They don't even understand the system. So basically it's like putting your case in the hands of someone who doesn't understand something, but they are still going to make a decision. They fell in favour of the Cheshire Building Society, and they felt, in their words, that the £200 compensation, not 100, the £200 compensation that the Building Society offered me was reasonable. Do you think that the mess that I would put in is to receive £200 back is reasonable? I don't. And there are many, many other people who are having a lot of problems with the financial ombudsman. They are not, I repeat, they are not there for your interests. Don't make the same mistake I and others have made by using this, for want of a better word, organisation, because you will not win. They are looking to the interests of themselves and to the interests only of the organisation that you maybe have some grievance against. So please bear that in mind. If you go to that website, I think I did mention it earlier, there's thousands of complaints on there. It's called the Complaint Expert, and under the heading, Can We Trust the Ombudsman with Our Complaints? The answer to that is no. I'll tell you briefly of another story. A friend of mine bought a new car, bought a car rather, from a garage, paid £8,000 for it. He bought a warranty to cover the maintenance of it in case there was a problem. 6 months later the engine blew up. He took it back to the dealership. It was a Vauxhall dealership. Took it back there. They rang him up about a week later, and he said, it's going to cost you £900. And he said, well, the insurance will pay for that. He said, no, it's not covered. The engine, mechanical failure, but he didn't get any money out of them. Now that tells you that for a company to say that, they know that they are going to win. So he got in touch with the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman fell in favour of the garage, even though he paid a warranty to cover mechanical failure. And there's a lot of others. You have to go to that website that I mentioned earlier, complaintexpert.co.uk, and look under the heading, Can We Trust the Ombudsman with Our Complaints? Thanks very much for listening, and maybe there might be an update on this.